What's going down? This brother Jones once again. I'm coming at y'all with another video about some news, some stuff that's going on in the world today, man. Iran attacked Israel, the nation. There's a lot of talk about who is this nation, right? Who are these people? Are they the children of God? There's a lot of talk about um the organization or the people there and what their motives are, and there's just a lot of talk Zionism, all these different things. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I don't know. I got my questions about everything on both sides. Something I've prayed about, and I haven't really got the answers that I think I wanted. But I do know that there's some crazy stuff going on over there right now. If we look right now, they are. Let's just dive right into it, man. So apparently, Iran has attacked Israel. Let's look at some of
Iran
the
fired
footage
nearly
here.
200 missiles at Israel, and Iran claiming that nearly 80% of their missiles hit their target. And we don't know if that's true, but we do know that Israel, Palestine, and Jordan were all hit with Iranian missiles. At least one person reportedly was killed in the attack, with it being reported they were in the West
Wow.
Bank and they were originally from Gaza. Also, the Jordanian Air Force intercepted Iranian missiles in coordination with the American and Israeli Air Forces. U.S. naval destroyers also intercepted missiles. You've got National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan saying Iran will face severe consequences. He also said the attack was defeated and was ineffective. Meanwhile, the Iranian
Wow.
leader tweeted out victory from God and victory is near. This as Israel says Iran will face a harsh and painful response. One official is saying it will be unlike anything we've known until
Oh
now, while
Lord,
another
listen to
said
what
they
they're
will
saying.
strike powerfully tonight. And this after last week, Israel warned Iran saying, if you strike us, we will strike you. There is no place in Iran that the long arm of Israel cannot reach. You also have the U.S. saying Iran will face severe consequences. Also, Iran says it alerted the U.S. and Russia through diplomatic channels right before they attacked. They've also reportedly told the U.S. that they don't want war, but the U.S. State Department denies that they heard from Iran at all.
So
Iran
look,
fired
this
nearly
is what's happening right now. So we know that America is an ally with Israel, right? And so whenever there are attacks happening right now, attacks happening against a country that you're allies with, especially Israel, we know that there's going to be some you got to answer to it, right? America has to decide, what are we going to do? Are we going to participate in this? And apparently, based on these reports in this TikTok video, I'm not sure how true everything is. I like to go to TikTok, man, because it seems, of course, there are a lot of silly videos out there and people making up stuff, editing clips and stuff like that. But I think TikTok seems to be a very uncensored platform where people's opinions and news stories aren't as suppressed as it may seem on YouTube. That's just what it seems like to me lately. As of late, YouTube just seems to, it seems to be that some of the information that we're looking for, the videos that aren't the big major news networks, they kind of get buried. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just my lack of ability when it comes to YouTube search. Maybe I got to scroll down more. But the point is, listen, when we see the Bible talks about it, Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, you'll see wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation. And then the Lord said it would be the beginning of sorrows, right? So this is signs of the end times, the signs of the beginning of the end. These are signs of things that are to come. Now, as far as the whole end times and the nation of Israel and what God has spoken in regards to Israel and what he's going to do with Israel. Um, th- that's up in the air. You can have your opinion. You can put it in the comments if you have an opinion on that, or if you feel like God is giving you revelation concerning that. Again, I have questions, right? And I don't want to ever be a stumbling block to anyone. So my questions will be left to myself until God releases me to really to really discuss it. But I do have questions as it relates to Revelations 2:9, when the Bible talks about, I know those who say they are Jews and they are not, but they are a synagogue of Satan. I wonder, who is that referring to? I don't know if that was referring to maybe the people back then when Jesus lived, or the original time of Israel, or is it talking about now? Is it talking about some things happening in America? Is it talking about, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I have questions. And so, but nonetheless, when you look at this stuff, we ought to be understanding that, okay, the Bible tells us to pray for the peace of Israel, right? We know that when, again, I just told you about the scriptures that tells us that when we see these things, that they have serious implication. I saw somebody post World War III has started. That could very well be the case. I'm not one who likes to get on here and use hyperbole And some may think that's not hyperbolic, but to me, I just don't like to declare things like that for clicks or to fearmonger and stuff like that. But it could very well have started. It could have started with Russia and Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? There's multiple nations currently at war right now as we speak over there. And so we pray that that stuff doesn't come to our nation, right? I've had dreams about, I had a particular dream where I was in this house and people started knocking on the door and I heard them say Jones, and it felt like there was a draft. Like it felt like they were coming to get me to enlist in the army, and I knew that Russia was outside. They were on our territory. They were on American soil. I don't know how true this dream is. I don't know. I know we try to pray. We have to pray against certain things when God shows us stuff. I don't know the timeline of this stuff, but I know prayer is a major force, man. When it comes to, we can ask God to protect, we can ask God to push back, to hold back some things. We can ask God to Lord, please can you maybe help us to not go into the new world order so soon, because there are souls that we want to get saved and stuff like that. So I just want to get on here and talk about this. I want to actually go back over here and look at some of the videos on TikTok of the footage and some of the news
Iran
reports.
has launched an attack of nearly 400 missiles at Israel today in retaliation for the assassinations of Ismail Haniyeh, Hassan Nasrallah,
Right.
and Abbas Nilfaroshan.
So this will give us a little bit more context of what's going on. So they're retaliating because some major people in Hezbollah, those terrorist groups over there, Palestinian terrorist groups, or I don't know if they're Palestinian. There's something over there who are opposed to Israel. Of course, I'm going to be doing more research on it. I don't claim to be a political expert or a war or geography expert, but apparently this was a retaliation by Iran for some things that Israel did when they killed some pretty important people over there.
Many targets appear to have been hit, with the Iron Dome defense system potentially malfunctioning. Air sirens have
So, they saying that it's potentially malfunctioning, but all the videos I've seen, I haven't seen any type of, bomb hit the ground and explode. You know what I'm saying? Or hit a building, or, you know what I'm saying? It looked like a bunch of flashes. It looked like, because for those who don't know, Israel has this Iron Dome, this whole missile and rocket defense system that destroys these missiles that come while they're in the air. And it looked like a lot of them was getting blasted. You know what I'm saying? But there was a barrage of missiles, rockets, whatever the case may be. But I'm wondering if, as I scroll through, if we're going to see any type of actual damage happening. Now, they said one person died. That's incredible. God bless that person's family, and it sucks when you lose one. But when you see a barrage of missiles and rockets happen like that, and only one person dies, that's pretty amazing.
Sounded across Israel, and people who were just yesterday celebrating the bombing and invasion of Lebanon are now in a panic over their own safety, in a karmic twist of fate. Additionally, while Israelis have been told to shelter in place, it's been reported by CNN that they are, in essence, being used as human shields, while Israel hides its Mossad bases among civilian infrastructure in densely populated areas, something it has accused its opponents of doing with regularity. President Biden, who has been largely inactive during the rest of the recent events in the region, has ordered U.S. troops to shoot down the Iranian missiles. It's worth noting, however, that Iran has not targeted any U.S. troops in the region during this attack, instead focusing on Israeli military targets. An Iraqi group, though, has stated that U.S. bases in Iraq will be targeted if Washington joins Israel in an attack on Iran.
That's when it becomes, that's when it affects us, right? We got family members in the military, stuff like that, and, when they say if America gets involved, they're going to start attacking our military bases. That's when it starts to really affect and hit home for us. But let's see what this is. Imagine that. Imagine walking outside and then you see stuff like this happening. Just think about that, man. I think we have to have perspective in this country, in this world. And I think a lot of times, man, because the internet is people on the internet are so insensitive. I hate that I didn't have this actually bigger on the screen. But people are so insensitive in America, or particularly in America, but I'm sure all over the world, that I think we just lose perspective. Everything is a joke. Everything is political. We politicize everything. We just completely lose the human dignity, the human, just the human side of having empathy and sympathy for people who are going through and enduring things. Instead, we immediately try to tie it to our political allegiance, right? We try to make things political. And although we know that politics play a huge role in the things that happen, I think we shouldn't run straight to politics. You know, politicians use these things, these human tragedies and things that are affecting people's lives. They use them as a campaign tool. You see what I'm saying? And I just think that's sad. And so I just think we have to be quick. We have really become this black and white, left, right, this society where it's like it's either you that or you that, and there's nobody who can maybe believe some things from one side and maybe take something from this side, or we don't think there's no good people on the opposite side of the aisle, or we think that all Palestinians, if you're pro-Israel, you think all Palestinians are bad. If you're pro-Palestinian, you think if you're pro Palestinian, you think all Israel is bad, and it's really sad because we lose our just being objective, being taking things as on a case by case basis and looking at it for what it is, and so people have a bias for their own party, and so when somebody from a party that you represent does something wrong, we make excuses for it. But when somebody who does the exact same thing from the opposite party, now it's the worst thing in the world. So I just think we have to really take a step back, get off the media stuff, get off of the turn each other, the divide and conquer that the enemy is using, that the powers that be are using against us. We got to take a step back from that stuff and understand that your allegiance to these parties, they don't have that same energy for you, most of them. So all this over the top loyalty to a party or that's not loyal to you, be careful with that. That's all I got to say about that. But that's another topic for another day. So I just wanted to get on here and talk about this, man. It's really happening. People are really going through it. And we just have to really pray. And we have to understand what's happening. We have to form our own opinions. We have to seek the Lord for wisdom as to what's going on.
Fireworks display.
So this is what's happening.
And you're talking about Tel Aviv. And you're talking about Tel Aviv, Jim. We are looking at pictures.
I don't know what happened, but that's all I got. Make sure you subscribe and follow. God bless.